Hello, everyone, and welcome to NWOSU Red versus Purdue Sigma. I'm one of your two hosts, Elliot,
I'm Viper.
and now we're going to be casting a fun match. This is the first match of the playoffs for the Purdue Sigma team. I think Purdue Sigma is the only team that I know of that has been able um to get into the playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we are excited to support them in today's match. I am gonna try to pull up the um the tournament picture so we can see what the rest of the matches that they've got to play against are today. I'll give you one moment to pull it up. I think I sent that to you earlier, Viper, so you can follow
Yeah.
along too. Um, But so what we're seeing is that right now tonight we've got the match between NWOSU Red and Purdue Sigma, and then the winner of that is going to go on to BSC OW2 Orange versus the winner of this match, and then the winner of those two matches will go on to the final match. And then I believe the loser of the match here, the match, the second round, for both of those second rounds, the losers of those two play for third place. So hopefully we'll see tonight if Pretty Sigma is able um, to go on to the next round. I heard from the Sigma captain that it sounds like the enemy team has not lost a match yet, so it should be a little bit of a exciting game and an intense game, but we're rooting for them.
Northern Oklahoma State University. Northwestern Oklahoma State University. What is their
Yes.
mascot?
Let me.
Oh, like a bucking bronco?
Yeah,
Is it?
it's
Rangers.
it's a person riding a bucking bronco. I think that they consider them like their mascot is the ranger that rides the bronco. Is it called a ranger?
Yeah.
I know there's another word for it, but anyway, last time when we casted, my father was very disappointed in our lack of geographic awareness. So this time I've done a little bit of research on where exactly we're talking about. As you can see here, the NWOSU that we're playing against is located in North Oklahoma, towards the west side, west of the beautiful state of Missouri that we could not find last week. Um, what west of Missouri? So a little bit farther than a lot of the teams that we played so far, but um, looks like a great university.
You want me to tell you what their mascot looks like? I don't know if you know who Frederick Remington is, but he's like the guy with all the bronze like horse statues, like he's known for it. And it looks like his statue outlaw is like what their logo looks like. It looks like a piece of his art, even though it's not.
Interesting.
Purdue
I
actually
don't know
owns
that I
a
recognize that.
Remington.
We do?
Yes,
Huh,
it is.
that's pretty cool.
I can't think of what building it's called, but yeah, they actually own one. Own one of his like bronze statues. It is. What is this building called? Ah, Morgan, Burton D. Morgan Center for Entrepreneurship. There is one of his statues in there. But yeah, he's known for his like horse-esque statues. Horse with like riders.
Interesting. Well, they've done player icons for several of their players that are Cassidy riding a horse. So, um, totally in theme with their school mascot, which is pretty cool. That's fun that
Yeah.
got one built in. some discussion right now
Oh,
on the version of spectators that me and Viper are allowed to be on. Typically, most matches, okay, they're declining. So typically, most matches within ECAC and NECC are allowed all spectator, which means that the people casting the match are allowed to basically see the entire map, and so they're able to move around within the map. And I'm sure you all have seen that in our previous castings, that we kind of move around the map to be able to see everything, and are able to see both the POVs of the enemy team as well as our own team. This team, maybe just because we're in the playoffs, seems like they're being a little bit stingy, and so we are only going to be allowed to see the point of views of the Sigma players. But that's all right. We will still be able to see all of the action-packed plays that are going to happen. We'll mostly just be seeing it through our own Purdue eyes. Trying to remind myself
Yeah,
what are all
I
the
had that happen last, what was it? I think Friday I was casting, and then we had, sorry about the echo. I changed a little bit to my phone just because I find it easier to not overrun my computer.
it's okay. It's not too bad.
I also may not have to run downstairs and get my dinner,
All right, well,
like
okay.
really quick.
Go for it. I was gonna look through some of the career profiles. We Purdue Sigma, my understanding is mostly a silver through plat team. Playing like Peely is our tank typically. Yeah. Peely playing Sigma, Ryan, Urza. So more of a brawl poke type comp. We see Kiriko, Juno, Wu Yang as some of the top supports for Fog. Juno, Sombra, Ash from Ghoul. I think Ghoul is a DPS player. Crab Ash and Soldier from Chicken, and then Green Juice on a Baptiste. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we have Fog and Green Juice on support, Ghoul, Chicken Man on DPS. Most likely seeing more of a mid-range poke comp. On the side of NWOSU, we are seeing I almost feel like I've played against this Slyfire guy before. This name sounds familiar, but anyway, Slyfire is Ryan Ash Genji player, so either on DPS or tank. Looking like plat to diamond range for them. Plat to gold range, Kiriko, Meme God, Wu Yang Alari Baptiste, plat to diamond support from Waluigi. Masters damage player, Junkrat Venture Sombra from Gamer Guy, and then Sovereign Sky is a silver DPS player. So we can see there's a little bit of a difference in the average rank between the two teams. Teams in ECAC are matched in two divisions based on their average team rank, or more specifically, the average team rank of their highest 5 ranked players, if they've got more than 5 players because they have subs or whatnot. So, because of the fact that we do see a difference in the ranks between average ranks of the two teams, it probably means that Purdue Sigma is on the lower side of the average SR for their bracket, and NWOSU Red is on the higher side of the bracket. So they've got a little bit of an advantage there in terms of individual skill. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a difference between an individual skill of the players, but as I've seen multiple times before, is that individual ranking of the players in this sorts of settings doesn't actually matter as much as their ability to have team coordination. A team that is significantly less mechanically skilled will oftentimes have significantly lower ranks because the competitive ladder is where have people playing for their own rank. It's not as often that they're playing together. But in these team settings, Overwatch is a game where having that team coordination can make a big difference in terms of the performance of the team. And so if we see Purdue Sigma play very well coordinated together, I can absolutely believe that they could turn around a rank disparity like this. But it'll certainly take some work. So we are rooting for our Purdue Sigma. At the moment, the banners up top are aligned with the teams that you see here. So the red team on the right is Purdue Sigma, and the blue team is NWOSU Red. Don't get confused by the fact that they are the red team on the banner and are named red, but are actually the blue team. Just go with which side of the screen that they're on. Looks like our first map is going to be on Nepal. A great control map. I don't think we've seen Nepal recently this season in terms of esports matches that I've casted. So it should be a fun one. I think Nepal and Lijiang are my two favorite control maps to do in this kind of competitive setting. It does have a lot of space on the temple map for environmental kills. The other two are probably a little bit lower in environmental kill aspect than most control maps are. Typically, Nepal favors a would say a more poke-centric type of comp, just because of how long and open the lanes are. Only exception to that is that the temple map probably allows for a little bit more of a dive than the other two do, but the other two certainly have a lot of room for poke. So maybe that'll play into favor for Purdue Sigma. I actually forgot. What are we seeing for like the types of comps that NWOSU is playing? I'm not gonna say NWOSU every single time. I think I'm gonna refer to them as Oklahoma, because saying Northwestern Oklahoma State University every time will get a little bit long. Even saying their acronym will get a little bit long. So we're just gonna call them Oklahoma. Got us on Kiriko. Luigi is more of a poke-centric port. More dive-centric DPS. Sovereign Sky is more of a, well, kind of all-around DPS. So I think it looks like most likely we're gonna see Rhine poke comps is my guess. Maybe hybrid comp, because it seems like Waluigi is very good, or sorry, not Waluigi. Gamer Guy is very good on several different dive heroes. So one of those kind of half poke, half dive hybrids that just kind of work because of the individual skill of the players. Looks like NW, I don't know why I'm trying to say the acronym again. It looks like Oklahoma is going to be banning Orisa in this first map. I believe that's mostly because Peely plays some Orisa Sigma Reinhardt. Yeah, so although Orisa isn't Peely's highest rated hero, or even their highest played, Orisa is a very good counter to Reinhardt, and if my guess is correct, we're only going to see Slide Fire on this Reinhardt these maps unless he gets banned. So without that Orisa to shut down the Reinhardt could be some of it would have an issue. Looking at the ranks of all the players, I'm guessing that the biggest issue that Purdue Sigma is going to have is Gamer Guy on this assortment of different dive heroes plus Junkrat. So we may want to see either a ban onto Junkrat would be, I think, a good ban into Nepal. That in Nepal has a lot of different chokeholds that Junkrat would really excel in. So banning a Junkrat would be a decent ban here. but also just banning one of the other dive heroes wouldn't be a bad idea to lessen some of the pressure that could come on to the Sigma backline. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Oklahoma did end up giving us permission to have all specs, so forget what I said earlier. We are going to be able to see both teams' POVs as well as moving around the map. So thank you to Oklahoma for that permission. We'll not abuse it. I am trusting that everyone in the chat will not be relaying information to Sigma. You shouldn't be an issue because you are on a 3-minute delay, but we see a Ana ban from Purdue Sigma, and we are going right into the first map.
Initiating match.
So first map we have is on. Man, I wish that I knew what the names of all these individual subpoints were. But first map we have is the map that is in a temple, but it's a like outside temple. Maybe it's called Shrine. No, I think Shrine is the. Maybe this one is Shrine. I think it's Shrine Village and Temple, and I don't remember if this one is Shrine or if this one's Temple. But I think this one's Shrine. I think the enclosed one entirely is Temple, and the other one's Village. We're seeing Sigma, Junkrat, Wuying, Sombra, and Bap from the side of Purdue Sigma. So a little bit more of a poke comp here with the Sigma. We do see Slyfire not on Reinhardt as I thought, on a Doomfist instead. As well as Kiriko, Wuying, Gamer Guy on the Junkrat, and then a Genji. So the poke comp that Purdue's running is a little bit susceptible to the Doom dive, the Doom Genji dive. But there is some ways that they can play around it. One of the ways is just to be able to burn the crap out of the Doomfist, and that's exactly what Ghoul did in that first fight, immediately burning down Flyfire using just charging up that primary fire and using some turrets along the way. It's a big pick. It's going to open up a lot of room for Purdue Sigma to play here. Despite the fact that Purdue Sigma got that early pick, Oklahoma didn't back out immediately, and so that means that they had a little bit of extra room in this first fight. We have a rock that comes on a Slyfire at the beginning, and that's almost able to pick off the Doomfist. Ghoul, in the meantime, is able to find a pick on the Gamer Guy. Healy gets trapped in a Junkrat trap, but doesn't end up getting punched in because of the immobility from it. Both Meme God and Waluigi get picked off by the poke from Ghoul. Ghoul finds another pick onto the Genji, and then Chicken Man is able to finish off the Doomfist. Just like I was saying earlier, despite the fact that there is a rank disparity between the two teams, just kind of having the constant pressure and team coordination that we've seen Sigma have in kind of some of the past games, that can make a big difference. We do see Slyfire switching over onto Roadhog here, which is going to be a little bit more difficult to punish. Go ahead.
I don't think Roadhog is going to be the play here. I feel like... I don't know. I just don't think Roadhog is going to be the best against the Sigma. Yeah, and he falls.
Yeah, Roadhog has the advantage that he can live through some of the rocks that Slyfire was dying against when he was on Doomfist. But I agree with you. I don't think Roadhog is really going to work much into the heavy poke that Sigma's bringing here. Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you.
We do see Gamer Guy get a pick onto Chicken Man, and immediately afterwards pop fire and is able to find green juice. That's 2 picks for Oklahoma. With those 2 picks, Oklahoma is able to take a lot more space. Sovereign Sky is able to find a pick onto Ghoul. That's going to force a full reset from Purdue Sigma. Healy is able to get out without getting hooked.
With 99% here, Purdue Sigma just has to push. They have 4 ults going into this, in which Oklahoma has none. So Purdue Sigma is definitely at an advantage here.
Yeah, I would like to see Purdue Sigma push in quickly here before the Lifeweaver tree gets put online. As I say that, Lifeweaver is able to get tree, and so that can be a little bit of an issue. We see the tree come out immediately. Sigma ult gets popped, but Waluigi on Lifeweaver does get picked. The Sigma ult gets hooked, but it immediately afterwards both Roadhog and Lifeweaver die. Meme God falls to Ghoul. Chicken Man is able to get a pick onto Gamer Guy, and we see the last Junkrat tire come out from Chicken Man. That's going to secure the first point.
That was a really great round by both teams. I definitely like this Sigma pick, this like poke comp for Purdue, just because I feel like whenever I've watched them, they do a great job on Sigma. Like, and their coordination is clearly like there when it comes to these pokes.
Yeah,
We do
absolutely.
see Sovereign Sky and Gamer Guy switching, as well as Sly and Meme God. We see a Ramatra with a Moira, Cassie, and a Sombra. I think they're gonna try to definitely leave heavy into this like dive, just trying to get these hacks out will hopefully help Oklahoma.
I agree. I think that Oklahoma needs to be able to have some speed to take out Purdue Sigma before they are able to just kind of lay on a lot of the frontline pressure that they did in the last round. But that's not an easy thing to do. As I say that, Ghoul is able to find a pick onto Gamer Guy right off the bat, taking out that only dive pressure that Oklahoma had. Peely is able to, I think, hit Sovereign Sky off the map, getting an early pick onto both DPS. Using that pressure, Purdue Sigma was able to push forward, get the point cap. Peely is able to find a pick with the rock onto Waluigi. Flog is able to find a pick on a Gamer Guy, and Meme God and Slyfire both fall as well. Gonna give full control to Purdue Sigma.
Again, like Sigma is just hitting these rocks constantly on this tank and just taking out the tank. We do see Slyfire switch back to Doomfist though.
It's gonna be interesting. If Slyfire is able to escape some of these rocks, I think he's gonna be able to make a big impact here. I do think dive was the right call for Oklahoma. But unfortunately, they do lose Meme God early. The Slyfire is able to find a counter pick onto Google, but not before they lose Waluigi and die themselves.
Bull has set up this like really nice like alignment of turrets in which as soon as they try to exit that, oh, I've heard people call it a car wash.
I've heard multiple terms.
Yeah.
Waluigi does get hit with a rock right off the bat. That only takes him out. Peely pops Sigma ult, is able to grab Waluigi and Meme God, able to get the pick on the Meme God. Sovereign Sky and Gamer Guy fall in the onslaught, and then Slyfire and Waluigi also die. Dipping up for a early 2-0 win from Sigma on the first map. Slyfire is going to move around the right side. Moving on to go on to Slyfire, is able to find a pick right off the bat before the stun even comes through. Chicken Man does pop ult though, and is able to find Slyfire right afterwards. Weeing ult comes through onto Peely. The stun is able to take out Waluigi, and that's going to give cap to Purdue Sigma.
I will say what Purdue Sigma have really had going there for them is their healers just were like being very uncontested by Oklahoma. Like Frog did not die once and was able to just sit in the back and just get those heals out.
Yeah,
and like Green good. Juice was able to help protect Peely.
Great first map from Purdue and from Oklahoma. One of the things that you missed, Viper, is that in the meantime I was going over some of the ranks of the two different teams, and Purdue Sigma was very closely ranked in like gold and silver in terms of individual rankings, and Oklahoma is around between plat and diamond, with one Masters player. So in terms of the individual ranking scale, Oklahoma certainly has them beat, and so it just kind of comes down to team coordination after that.
Yeah.
And Purdue Sigma was certainly able to show a lot there.
I do definitely think team coordination and like how your team gets along is definitely honestly more important than individual rank and like your skill as a team.
Yeah, you're totally right. I would have said that team coordination matters more in like brawl and dive comps, and so the fact that Purdue Sigma is running a poke comp, and yet they're still able to make use of that team coordination is really interesting. It probably means that they're making a lot of good call outs into focusing targets and into when dives are happening, so that Sigma can hit those rocks.
Yeah, I think definitely Peely is good at like just keeping track of where their supports are to be able to take out those supports and just leave them supportless. Is what I was noticing a lot. And then it's just I do think Sovereign Sky was struggling trying to go into Peely's Sigma.
Yeah. The I didn't get to see a lot of it. I know that Gamer Guy had several dives that weren't working, and I didn't see who exactly it was on Sigma that was shutting him down. But I know that the Sigma backline was doing a good job of being able to sustain and shut down Gamer Guy as well. It's an important part to playing this poke.
I'm actually like I'm trying to think of just what tank counter Sigma. Isn't it like Ryan and Zarya are really good against him?
Ryan and Zarya are good against him. I would have said Ram is decent against him. Probably not as good
Yeah.
because he doesn't have a ton of damage output. Winston's pretty decent. It's usually the tanks that are capable of brawling through him, and then the tanks that are capable of diving past him. The tanks like Hazard and Doom don't typically do very well because they're so susceptible to his rock. But tanks like
Yeah.
Winston and Ball typically do well because they're not as hurt by that rock.
We do see Gamer Guy getting switched to being their tank.
Interesting. Gamer Guy isn't someone who has a lot of tank time this season, but it seems like they play Darker Queen, Mauga, Roadhog at a diamond level. And so that may be enough to support them there. Flyfire switching to DPS plays Ashe and Genji at a flat diamond level. We're seeing Servasa as the next map.
I'm just wondering how Servas is gonna go and what tank that Healy's gonna play because I like Sigma. It's just he is very, very slow moving. I'm thinking maybe seeing an Orisa here.
I could send Orisa in the last map. Orisa was banned, so I'm not
Yeah.
totally positive if Peely didn't play Orisa just because they were banned, or if Peely didn't play Orisa because they genuinely felt like Sigma's going to work better there.
Yeah.
So,
I think we typically see. Oh, I guess a Junker Queen. Junker Queen is actually really good on this map.
Does Peely play Darker Queen? Oh, he does.
He has a little. It's his second most played this season.
Peely's or Slyfire's?
Yeah, Peely's.
I'm only seeing 9 minutes of Darker Queen in this. I think you're looking at hero skill ratings.
Yes, I am. That's my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. That being said, Purdue Sigma actually bans Darker Queen. So they're not going to be playing Darker Queen. And that does make sense because we saw Slyfire, was going to be playing the Darker Queen in that round, as well as Oklahoma is banning Junkrat.
What did they do? Oh, rat. Some would say, oh, rats.
Oh, rats. No rats.
Rats.
I'm honestly kind of glad that Darker Queen got banned here. Darker Queen is definitely pretty strong in this map. It allows, I think most rush comps are pretty strong in this map. So
Yeah.
not having the Darker Queen online if we weren't going to play it, probably a good idea.
See, like, I can tell you what DPS goes, like, is great to go against which, like, DPS, but, like, I don't really know, like, what tanks are great to go against which tanks, because I don't really play tank.
I play too much tank, so I feel like I know all the Pokemon effectiveness charts of tanks against other tanks.
We do see a Rhine going against a Hog here. I do like the Rhine for this team comp that they got going on.
I do
though.
too. A Rhine may venture. It's kind of a fun team comp, fun brawl to be playing here. They are missing speed, which I think could be problematic against a Roadhog.
Yeah.
But we'll see if they if they're able to place those walls well enough. It doesn't really matter that they don't have speed. We're just gonna try to trap people close by. You see Ghoul go for an early poke into the back line. Has to use cooldowns early, so is in a tough spot, but is able to get a pick onto Ana at the same time. And Ryan is able to follow up with him to make sure that he doesn't die on the way out. Slyfire is able to find a pick though onto Flog. Currently even. Purdue Sigma's going to start stabilizing on the point, but they do end up getting capped. Slyfire is able to find a pick on the green juice. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe Purdue Sigma just wants. Oh, the Ana sleeps the Venture. Just watch that. I do definitely think that playing slow here is actually going to be good for Purdue.
I think so too. Purdue's got a little bit more sustain with that brawl comp. Purdue was able to get 2 picks there. I think if they push in early, they should have a pretty easy fight here. Ghoul's gonna push after that Hanzo. Healy charges in, is able to get the pin onto Gamer Guy, but is very secluded right now in the back line. Unfortunately, gets slapped, and that's probably going to be it for Peely. Ghoul also dies to Slyfire at the same time. Hanzo Dragons did get pumped, but didn't find anybody. Gonna keep the next fight for Oklahoma. Sovereign Sky attempts to 2v1 with Chicken Man and Flog. Chicken Man does get hooked in and picked off by Gamer Guy. You see Bap Window come through on the high ground. Shatter comes through as well, hitting 4. Everybody except for that Bap on the high ground. Finds 2, both Meme God and Sovereign Sky. Bap is forced to drop off of the high ground, and Oklahoma's going to give the cap to Sigma. Ghoul is chasing after this Hanzo. Hanzo's been doing a good job of keeping Ghoul in check though, so Ghoul's not going to overextend on it. Gamer Guy popped Roadhog ult, and unfortunately traps Peely in a tiny corner, and that trap is going to allow Peely to get the pick. Sovereign Sky, allow Gamer Guy to get the pick onto Peely. It's going to be a point cap for Oklahoma. Ghoul attempts to make a last-ditch effort with Venture ult, but no dice. Is that the saying?
This Hanzo.
No dice?
No dice, I think, is the right one.
Okay.
This Hanzo is just keeping producing that bay.
Yeah, to be honest with you, when they swapped Slyfire to DPS and Gamer Guy to tank, I thought it was because they wanted a little bit stronger tank presence, but Slyfire's been doing an amazing job on this Hanzo, so Maybe,
It seems
maybe
like
it's
he's
just get the
hitting
Hanzo onto.
every shot he takes, it feels
Yeah.
like.
He hits good.
And he takes out
What
goal.
again? Hook comes through onto Peely. Purdue attempts to stabilize in this small room. They unfortunately that ended up working against them as dragons come through from the Hanzo. Really tries to get the pick on the way out. Bat window does end up getting popped. I don't think the bat window was necessary there. And so maybe it's a little bit overused ult there, but that does give first point to Oklahoma.
We do sense a nano blade coming next fight from Oklahoma though. But we do have May ult as well as Wu Yang ult and Bao. So I'm excited to see what happens there. We do see Ghoul switch to Sombra and get that pick on that Hanzo.
Gonna be a big pick there.
Guys.
Stun on the kill onto with the Wu Yang ult onto Ana is going to prevent them from doing the Nano Blade this round. Sovereign Sky is still able to get a pick onto Fog on the out, but Sigma is going to get that next cap. Ghoul ends up finding Sovereign Sky on his way back. That's going to put them into a 4v5 situation for the next fight. Our guy looking for an early hook here. To try to catch Peely out of position. Maywall does come through onto Gamer Guy, and that's going to trap Gamer Guy out from the rest of the team. But it's not enough of a seclusion to get the kill. Shatter does come through, is able to shatter 3 of them, immediately getting a pick onto Gamer Guy, and then following up on a Slyfire and a Waluigi with the help of a Bat Window from Purdue Sigma. Great combo there.
I've been currently distracted by Ghoul just taking out their DPS as they try to come back.
Oh,
Ghoul was able to take out Sovereign Sky on his way back.
He's trying to do it against
And
Slyfire
they
again.
aren't-
Oh, is he gonna
Yeah,
get the pick?
they're not.
He isn't able to get the pick, but I think he gets out. Maybe?
Yep. He's working on the pick.
Sovereign Sky's
maybe he's
looking for a
working
place
to
to try to
EMP.
Nano Blade here. This is a blade.
Taking out that Ana.
The Nano isn't able to get LOS because Ghoul is able to take out the Ana, as he said. Sovereign Sky is able to find 2, even though he doesn't have the Nano. Peely and Ghoul are able to find 2 picks of their own as well, though. Peely against 2 of their DPS. It's just Chicken Man now against the Genji. Genji is one-shot, though. Both of them are dancing around the other because they both think the other's low. And Sovereign Sky is able to find that final pick, but it may have taken too long, and so both of the supports from Purdue Sigma are now in the fight. Oh,
Oh, and
they're
they
not
step
able to
out.
touch in
He
time.
stepped off point.
That window still gets popped, though. And Roadhog ult. Oh my. Gamer Guy attempting to find green juice. Finding green juice. Peely is going to attempt to get out. Probably is not going to. As soon as he turns around, he's going to get hooked.
Ghoul's being a menace in the back line.
I hate to continue to get more picks. That's crazy.
Yeah. He just got a pick on Sovereign Sky.
Really attempting to shield his supports over to the next point. Is both the teams are kind of stuck in a weird rotation here. They're both going to meet in this corner. Oklahoma is going to get that first cap. Dragons comes through. Ghoul is able to find a pick on the Baptiste, but the other Baptiste gets traded out by the Dragons. Flyfire is able to find a second pick on the Ghoul. Peely is trying to chase down this Hog. Is able to find the pick, but does drop quite low, and so can't push it in any farther. Slyfire does fall as well to Chicken Man. That's gonna bring the second cap to Purdue Sigma, but they do still Oklahoma still got 40% off of that for free, which is not nothing.
We do see Oklahoma switch to Winston.
It's an interesting one. They're aiming to try to dive more with Genji.
Yeah.
I think that may be a hard matchup for Peely.
My favorite thing to watch is like a Sombra in someone's backline and like everybody's like trying to aim and shoot around to try to find her and they just can't, so they look kind of crazy.
We see an EMP come through from Ghoul. Is able to find 3 with the EMP. Wu Yang comes through onto Ghoul as well. Is able to stun the backline, only getting 1 pick, but Peely's able to finish off some others in the process. Green Juice is able to find the pick onto Waluigi. Flyfire finds counter pick back onto Green Juice. Now it's just a 2 DPS from Oklahoma against the Sigma team. The rest of the team is able to get back though. Gamer Guy attempting to try to finish off that pick. Ghoul's able to find another pick onto Genji. Healy attempting to reach, but his arms are not long enough. Vlog gets picked off by Gamer Guy. Healy is almost able to get the pick onto Gamer Guy, and Gamer Guy gets finished off by Chicken Man, and that's going to give point tap to completely to Sigma, making it a 2 against 1 or 2 to 1 situation in favor of Sigma.
We do see Gamer Guy switch to Hazard. And we do see Slyfire switch off Hanzo to go to Cassidy.
That's interesting. I feel like the Hanzo was working very well for Homa, but they probably just wanted to put some stuff up. We do see a Nano Blade come through. At the moment, Wu Yang is the only one susceptible to it. They do get the pick onto the Wu Yang, but unfortunately he was the only one around, so Sovereign Sky can't really find anything else with it. Healy is a little bit isolated, but the Oklahoma team isn't close enough to capitalize on it. Regardless, the cap is going to go to Oklahoma.
You do see Genji just trying to search for Ghoul.
Ghoul attacks the Catholic in the back line, is able to get the pick. It gets traded off in the process, but that's not a bad trade. Especially because it caused the Genji to fall back. We see Soldier Roll come through from Chicken Man. Shatter come through from Peely. Is able to find 3 with that combo. Gonna give point cap to Purdue once they decide to touch the point.
Please do not C9.
I do feel like Purdue's been very, very good at using their ults in combination.
We do see Meme God switch on to Moira. To hopefully just, I think their idea here is to like send like the ball out to be able to just try to reveal Ghoul.
So he gets a little bit isolated there, but the Wu Yang ult and EMP come through, both departing his push. And so he's able to find a pick onto several of them. Losing only Ghoul in the process, but otherwise getting a team kill. Oh, with the bat window help as well. I didn't realize that came through. That is 3 ults that got used by Purdue Sigma there.
We do see on the side of Oklahoma a Hazard ult and a Cassidy Hynden, so maybe they'll combo those.
You see Hazard ult come through, kind of isolating the soldier into a hard position. Slyfire finds that pick onto Ghoul, revenge as you will. Gamer Guy really wants to pick onto the back line, but isn't able to find it and gets picked off in the process. Cassidy ult comes through onto the point, and that's going to force Purdue to back up a little bit. Slyfire does end up finding the pick onto Flog. Oklahoma finds the cap, but they're in a lot of danger on this point here. Soldier ult gets popped as well as Shatter, and that's going to finish off all but Sovereign Sky on the side of Oklahoma. Final cap comes through for Purdue, and Mauga is not going to be able to touch. That's going to give map 2 to Purdue.
Purdue. Ghoul with 30 kills.
With how many?
30.
30?
30.
Ghoul was an absolute menace in their backline in that
Chicken Man
round.
has 26.
Oh my goodness.
And Peely has 25.
Even when Ghoul didn't get the kills, because of the fact that Ghoul got so many picks early on in the game, every single time that he pushed their backline, like, all of them turned around for it, and it just completely split up their team.
Yeah. I'm sensing a somber ban in the future.
I think you are totally right. I'm honestly I'm just gonna click on the somber ban icon even before they say it, because there ain't no way they're banning anybody other than Sombra this next round. If they ban any hero other than Sombra, I will type a dad joke and actually I'm not gonna type a dad joke in the chat, but if they give somebody other than Sombra, then I will give the chat a dad joke. They are swapping their tank and DPS back. So Slyfire is once again going to be on tank, and Gamer Guide's going to be back to. Looks like they're picking King's Row as their next map. Fan favorites. I was playing some.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm liking King's Row
It's a wonderful map.
every time.
I was playing some competitive earlier this week, and we got onto King's Row, and somebody in chat said, "Ugh, King's Row again," and I've never felt so unrelated to a statement.
Was your heart broken when someone said they
My
didn't like
heart was broken.
Ban of Symmetra? Oh, you gotta do the dad joke.
Man, wow, I felt pretty confident with that one. Okay, hold on. I'll come up with the dad. Ooh, okay. I did actually hear a really good dad joke earlier this week. But it's kind of like a physicist type joke. Okay. Hold on. You ready? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I can remember how it goes. Wait. Okay, whatever. I remember 2/3 of the joke, so I will give you 2/3 of the joke. It's still gonna be funny. Heisenberg and Schrodinger are driving in a car together, and Heisenberg is the one driving, and a cop pulls him over, and Heisenberg rolls down the window, and the cop says to him, "Sir, do you know how fast you were going?" And Heisenberg says, "No, but I know where I was." And then the cop says, "Can I take a look in your trunk?" And Heisenberg pops the trunk, and the cop says, "Oh man, did you guys know you had a dead cat in the back of here?" And Schrodinger says, "Oh man, well now we do." Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat and the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was able to find the joke on Reddit, and like you were reading it script by script almost.
Well,
Except
okay.
for you missed out on one word that we can't say on stream.
What I don't even remember what the other word was.
It starts with an A. It's a butthole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know, I looked it up. I was like, Schrodinger driving joke. I want to see how word for word you do this, and you do it pretty much word for word.
Yeah, I'm not very original. Well, okay. In the joke that I heard,
like
it was Thank you. And the joke that I heard, it also had a third scientist in there that like had a third joke part to it, and I can't remember who the third person is, so I only included the first two that I remembered. But they were probably the funniest ones. So anyway, we are gonna see a sim ban from Oklahoma and a Curie ban from Purdue Sigma going into this first map.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers.
We are on a
Let's
3-minute
go
delay,
on.
but I'm hoping after 3 minutes we'll get some laughter in the chat at my great joke.
Yeah. We do see Ghoul on Widow. Unable to get that first pick on Widow. Ghoul switches to app.
Common trope in this map. Want the early Widow pick, you don't find it, and then you swap. Ghoul attempts to kind of go for some of the shenanigans that they did last time, but unfortunately they walked themselves into Hotel, which is a very trappy spot for the Junkrat, and so they're able to get picked off. So Peely's going to kind of play slow as he waits for Ghoul to get back here, set up a new attack. The rest of Purdue Sigma though is able to kind of move towards the high ground here. Chicken Man and Green Juice on the Ana are able to kind of take this high ground. Ghoul's up there with them as well. And so they're kind of setting up a pincer attack here. Ghoul is able to find that pick onto Gamer Guy. Flyfire tries to charge in, gets counterpinned by Peely. Elliot's dropping quite low because his team is a little bit separated from him, and that's unfortunately going to cost his life. But Ghoul is able to find a pick on a Sovereign Sky in the process. Ghoul pushes onto Waluigi, but isn't able to find the pick. Chicken Man's still kind of maintaining that high ground with Green Juice. Anti comes through onto the Sigma backline. Shatter comes through. Transcendence saves some of the backline. Gamer Guy's able to find a pick onto Ghoul. Shatter comes through from Oklahoma, able to find a pick onto Peely. Green Juice still holding that high ground, but unfortunately he's getting snuck up on by Waluigi. Waluigi takes out another one with that charged attack. Both Slyfire and Peely are trading a lot of blows. So they're both charging up Shatter very quickly. Kind of got a mutual agreement that, hey, you're going to get Shatter, but I'm going to get Shatter too. Ghoul finds a pick on a Waluigi. That's a really good early opening pick. EMP comes through. Ghoul's able to find a pick onto both Gamer Guy, Meme God, and Sovereign Sky, as well onto Slyfire. And that's going to be a team kill. We're all 5 killed by Ghoul there?
It looked like it.
I think that was all 5. Because it was the then before the EMP, and then Meme God, Gamer Guy, and Sovereign Sky all fell to the EMP, and then Ghoul found Slyfire afterwards too. Waluigi does find Chicken Man at the start of the next fight, but at this point, Purdue Sigma has the cap. Oh, Waluigi also finds Ghoul in the process. Gotta watch out for those send shots.
We do see Gamer Guy trying to like hold the high ground as a Junkrat, which we do see it back off.
He is gonna pop Junkrat tire, holding it in that corner just to kind of force Purdue to play a little bit farther back in the meantime. Ends up going for Chicken Man with it. Flyfire is able to get a pick onto Ghoul in the meantime. Sovereign Sky and the 2 supports on Sigma are just kind of playing around this corner for a little bit while we wait. Nano comes through from Peely. Transcendence does get popped though, so Peely isn't going to be able to get any picks with this Nano. Winging Ult gets popped onto Peely, but at the same time he gets shattered, and so that Winging Ult's going to keep Slyfire off of the team. Ghoul and Chicken Man take that time to find 2 picks onto the enemy backline. Peely throws a random charge through and is able to find Meme God, and then Fire Strike Slyfire for the second to last kill before finishing off Gamer Guy.
Very strong like push here from Purdue. You know, I like Peely on the Rhine. I would also like to see him just like maybe pull out like an Orisa here too. Be kind of fun to see.
Certainly a very even Rhine matchup, but both Rhines are doing some great plays. Early hack and virus from Ghoul finding a pick. Unfortunately, they end up messing up their translocator, but they don't get punished for it. Go right back in into Meme God, finding the second support as well. Oklahoma has no supports at the moment, and Chicken Man is able to use that. Peely, Fortune, and Chicken Man are able to use that to find 2 picks of their own. Gamer Guy has swapped on to Sombra now, and finds the pick on Flog, but it's too late at that point.
We do see Gamer Guy switch to Sombra here. I don't know how I feel about Sombra because Purdue is doing a really great job about attacking their backline.
Sombra isn't bad against an enemy Sombra just to hack the enemy Sombra as soon as they get in, and sometimes that can shut down the dive, but we'll see how they play around it. EMP comes through from Ghoul, able to find a pick on a Meme God early, and Waluigi, and Slyfire. Peely does need to stabilize here as he's dropped low, but otherwise the fight essentially been won for Purdue. Sovereign Sky drops down, and Gamer just barely gets out. Chicken Man pops Junkrat tire. Is able to find a pick on a Meme God. Shatter comes through onto Slyfire and Waluigi. Nano comes through onto Chicken Man, and that's gonna finish off the point for Purdue with 1 minute and 53 seconds.
That was unfortunate. I was spectating Gamer Guy, and he translocated right into the shatter just as it like landed.
No,
Yeah.
that hurts. That hurts.
Initiating match.
I got one laugh on my Schrodinger Heisenberg joke, and it was for my
Dang, they
father.
need to
So
laugh
I'm not sure that it really even counts as a laugh. Not that I don't appreciate your laughter, Dad, but it's like going to Mom when I'm all dressed up for prom and asking if I look good.
Ready for battle.
She's always gonna say that I look good. You're always gonna laugh at my joke even if it wasn't funny. But I appreciate it all the same.
I got joked. Why did the Purdue student stare at a thing of pineapple juice for an hour? Because it said concentrate.
I do like that one.
I have a list.
I did think it was gonna have to have something to do with like specifically Purdue, and but is it just kind of like a yo mama is so stupid, or Purdue students are so stupid that when they stare at a bottle of pineapple juice, is it that kind of thing? I like
No,
it. No.
it was just meant to be like a funny little thing, and it was originally just a student, but like a Purdue student makes it funnier.
I see. While we are talking about jokes, Oklahoma is able to switch on to dive and immediately rip out 2 picks and then find green juice right afterwards, and that's gonna give them a very early cap. I feel like we were talking about jokes at the wrong time, because that was a gross flip of what this map has been so far.
Yeah.
Slyfire and the Doom, it seems like what they need. Gamer Guy has taken a page out of Ghoul's book and kind of just is harassing the backline, and that's going to give just enough attention to the back to allow Slyfire to find a pick. Ghoul's able to find a counter pick on a Waluigi in the meantime. Both Sombras are really just trading backlines right now.
We do see Chicken Man switch on to May here.
Ghoul's able to find another pick onto the enemy backline on Meme God. Healy for Tint is able to finish off Gamer Guy, and Purdue Sigma is able to win the 4v2 against the 2 people that went forward, and in the meantime, Ghoul wins the 1v3 against the 3 people that were on cart.
I don't know much about higher ranks, but how often is Sombra played in higher ranks?
Not a ton. She partly because everybody hates her. She gets banned a lot.
Yeah.
But even when she's not banned, she typically doesn't get played too much, just because a good hit scan can flip on the Sombra before she gets her hack off. And so that isn't usually as big of an issue. But both teams are really struggling with that Sombra. Gamer Guy does pop EMP here, and we see Doomfist ult come through. And that's gonna pretty much stagger the Purdue backline. Ghoul is able to find a pick on a Waluigi in the meantime, but Healy kind of just wants to reset here. Either die or get out. But it's not a great spot for him. Ghoul is the only Purdue player left alive. Unfortunately, he chooses a rough time to dive. Still is able to find Meme God in the process, even with 4 people looking at him.
The payload has reached the
Cap does come through for Oklahoma.
We do see Sovereign Sky try to just chase down Ghoul.
He really is attempting to chase down Ghoul. He isn't able to find it. Chicken Man's able to find a pick on the Gamer Guy in the process, and half of Oklahoma is chasing around a Sombra in the back. EMP comes through from Ghoul. Wu Ying all gets popped onto Ghoul. Healy and Chicken Man are able to find picks, and that's gonna win the next fight for Purdue. Peely throws in a random fire strike. Is able to find a pick onto a target that Sombra got low in the process. Great coordination there. And the hack come through onto Slyfire right as he was charging up a big punch. Peely gets nanoed. Slyfire does find the pick onto Ghoul, and Sovereign Sky pops Blade to be able to find picks onto the backline with Gamer Guy. Just Peely holding onto this point. Gets counter stunned on the way out. Grim Juice is gonna get
Sovereign
finished off
Sky
again.
is trying to like do as much as he can. Like he's trying to also get into Purdue's backline a little bit, but he's also trying to take care of Ghoul at the same time. We do see Ghoul switch on Adventure here.
Slyfire kind of gets trapped in the backline and does have to pop ult to live, but EMP comes through at the same time as a Doom ult, and that's gonna finish off Flog. Great ult combo there. Meme God pops ult as well, and Soldier ult comes through. I think Slyfire just punched himself off the map, and that's actually gonna give a lot of open room to Purdue to be able to hold on to this. But Ghoul, unfortunately, is going to fall, and oh no, Peely for Chin swaps the Doom and is able to touch because of that. Sovereign Sky is able to find the pick on a Flog, but Chicken Man comes on a point, and unfortunately it's just Green Juice left now against several of them. Ghoul makes his way to point, isn't able to get dig in time, and that is going to give cap to Oklahoma.
They were able to stall that quite a bit
Not
at the end, though.
They lost the fact that Oklahoma got such an early cap on that first point and didn't get delayed too much in the second area made it so that Oklahoma actually has more time on the clock than Sigma had when they made their push, despite the fact that Sigma had a fantastic push. And so there's going to be approximately 1 more minute on the clock that Oklahoma has when they are doing their push. But first, we're going to have the Purdue Sigma push.
We do see a Malga on the side of Oklahoma. I'm interested to see where this goes. We see Ghoul on Sojourn. Oh, we see Ghoul on Sombra now.
Sombra. Can't decide between Sojourn or Sombra. My guess is that once Ghoul sees that that Slyfire is now on Malga, they're going to stick on the Sombra. Because Malga isn't able to do a lot in terms of supporting their backline during the dives.
Oh, we see Ghoul switch back to Sojourn.
Ghoul's able to find an early pick even from across the map. He doesn't have to be next to the enemy backline to get the pick. Finds an early pick on the Meme God. That's going to allow Purdue to be able to play really aggressive here. Able to find another pick onto Sovereign Sky, but does get finished off by that stomp. Peely for Chinch is dropping quite low from the Discord. Gamer Guy is still kind of hanging out on the top there. Peely for Chinch is able to find a stray kill with a fire strike. Oh my goodness. Between Peely for Chinch's fire strikes this game and Ghoul just obliterating the enemy backline, Purdue Sigma's pulling out some funny ones. Ghoul finds another 2 picks with Railgun. That's going to give point cap to Purdue Sigma.
Ghoul with 35 so far.
With 60 seconds left, Purdue can either win the next fight or lose the next fight quickly and still be able to get another time. But they're dropping low on the amount of time they have to be able to get in 2 fights. We're most likely going to see Oklahoma try to play this slow until they can get the clock a little bit lower, and then they'll make their full push. You see some shenanigans coming out from Gamer Guy in the back. Attempting to get some poke. Sovereign Sky attempts a coordinated dive with the Gamer Guy, but isn't able to find it. Winging comes through early onto Rhine. Isn't able to find any stuns, but does force out the life grip. EMP comes through onto the back line onto Sigma, and that's going to catch a lot there. Sojourn comes through. Ghoul trying to salvage the fight by finding some railgun kills. Is able to find Lifeweaver, but that's probably not going to be enough. Does get finished off by Slyfire, and it's just Healy right now trying to hold on to this. Unfortunately, sports aren't able to get back in time, and the Mauga ult is going to
Cage.
make sure that that Sigma is not able to get that final touch in.
Score 3-4. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Having that having capped that first point so quickly, and even just getting it slightly past the choke, as you can see that they got it to, is phenomenal progress for Purdue.
Yeah.
Because one, this point in and of itself, as all hybrid points are, is not easy to cap. But also the point that that Purdue Sigma got it to is past that early choke point. And so Purdue Sigma can really just hold this choke point. You actually see them playing a Mei here, which is great for holding this specific choke point. And so even if they lose that early point, as long as they can get themselves back together in time for this first fight, they have a phenomenal spot to be able to hold until that 2 minutes and 55 seconds gets down to 0. You see several switches from both sides here. Honestly, totally different comps coming through.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Interested to see Ghoul play on Reaper. I don't think I've seen that one yet. Chicken Man looking to be able to get that Mei wall.
Gamergat's a little bit separated here, and Peely for Tent is able to make use of that. Doomfist Punch does come through, isn't able to find anybody because uses up several cooldowns in the process. Great rock comes through onto the Doomfist, and attempts to finish him off. The Doomfist punches him back in, but isn't able to get the pick before dying himself. First fight win to Purdue Sigma. They try to finish off some of those stragglers. They do have a Sombra in their backline that Ghoul is attempting to go after. See Slyfire immediately counter swap onto that Reinhardt in an attempt to do it to force the Sigma back a little bit more.
Gamergat does get the pick on Flog though. And on Peely.
Because of the Rein swap, Slyfire is able to force a close proximity fight with Peely and win that close proximity fight. A lot of picks being traded from both sides. Ghoul attempts to hold on by using ult, but immediately gets hacked out of it, and unfortunately loses Death's Blossom in the process. Point cap is going to go to Oklahoma. But as I said earlier, Purdue's got a great point to be able to hold this choke with the Mei walls.
Gamer guy trying to get these picks, but Ghoul just stops him in his tracks.
Finishing off that Sombra at this point in time is super big. Cool. Finishing off another DPS, putting Oklahoma into a rough spot here. We do see Gamer Guy has EMP here, and that's gonna be super helpful if he can get it off. Pick off some targets with it. We do see Nino come through onto Peely. Right afterwards, EMP comes through. Shatter comes through, finding 3 in the process. Sigma ult lifts up Sovereign Sky and Slyfire. They don't have a lot of damage on them yet. Freeze comes through, is able to find both Meme God and Waluigi, but Sigma isn't able to catch Waluigi in time. Blade comes through and finishes off the remainder of Purdue Sigma, and that's going to send us to a 4th map. It's currently 2-1
Exciting.
Purdue Sigma, Oklahoma.
Play of the game.
We see Ghoul play the game. Ghoul is relentless on this Sombra.
Yeah, this is when Ghoul found 5 picks. 5 picks. What a play.
Now we have time for more dad jokes. I have my list out.
Okay, this time, if Oklahoma doesn't ban Sombra, then we'll have to tell another dad joke, and I'll let Viper do it. because my dad joke wasn't good. Sigma is choosing New Queen Street as their next.
Okay, what is a CS major's favorite snack? Computer
Um,
chips.
Computer chips. I feel like there should be a brand of chips called computer chips.
There
That-
should.
It just feels like that would be really tasty. Maybe a salt and vinegar chip called computer chips. I'd love that.
This one's like, oh, there's the
They banned
Samba band.
Sombra. You've got to stop doing dad jokes. That's what that means.
Dang. I have a list because I used to do announcements for another club at a point in time, and I would do a joke of the week.
That's pretty good. I like that. Whip it out anytime.
A lot of them are like zombie related.
Zombie related?
Yeah, because I did like 4 in the month of October.
What's one of the zombie ones? I don't know any zombie jokes.
What's a zombie's favorite week of the school year? Dead week.
Dead week. I like that. Good.
Why did the zombie do well on his midterms?
Why?
Because it was a no-brainer.
That's a good one. Why don't zombies eat comedians?
Because they don't like the taste of the funny bone.
That's funnier than the punchline I had. I was just gonna say they taste funny.
Oh, I like that one.
Where do zombies live?
I don't know, where do they live?
On a dead end street. That one wasn't
Dang.
very good.
No, that one's a good one.
You like that one? Alright.
Yeah.
And we see a Doom ban from Pretty Sigma.
What do you call a test tube with a college degree?
I don't know what.
A graduated cylinder.
Ah, I like that. I think that's my favorite one so far. That one's funny.
I need to stop with the dad jokes. We're gonna get canceled.
Initiating
Get taken off the air.
I'm seeing several dad jokes here that are really funny, but I can't say.
You gotta search up like ones that are like for like middle schoolers or like for teachers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I had like there was like a website I was using at a point because like I was like trying to find like winter themed ones and stuff like that because I was like I can't do any good ones sometimes. And
Ooh.
then like, ooh, what is it?
Sorry, I just found a really good one. What do zombie pirates eat?
ready.
Arms.
Yeah, that's what it is. Isn't that good? I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I like that one.
Sorry.
We do
Keep
see
going.
Ghoul coming out on Tracer.
Ooh.
Chicken
Still
Man
going
on
with the
load
dive,
Junker.
but loosen it up a little bit.
5, 4,
We're seeing almost the same comp as last time, except for Gamer Guy on Ash.
Tracer doesn't have as much survivability, I would say, at this level of play as Sombra does. The Ghoul's gonna need to be careful with that, but I think do quite well. See, Purdue Sigma immediately opting to take some of that high ground. Sci-Fire tries to deny some of that high ground, but Peely is able to take advantage of the fact that Sci-Fire moved up to find Waluigi. Ghoul gets a pick on the Gamer Guy right off the bat. And from those picks, Sly-Fire and Sovereign Sky are going to die as well. Sovereign Sky, actually not dead yet, sorry. I spoke too early. Does find a pick on the Ghoul. Chicken Man finishes off Meme God. Sovereign Sky's... Okay. There we go. Gets finished up.
That was a real. That was a really early push.
Purdue's doing a great job of finding those early picks through poke.
I got distracted by one of the French signs on the side of the building because I was trying to translate it for myself mentally.
Did you figure it out?
No, because I don't know what one of the words is. I know like what one of the things was, but like I couldn't remember what the specific word meant in French.
Sigma DPS are able to find 2 early picks onto Oklahoma supports. Peely for Chinta is able to finish off Sovereign Sky, and Jules able to finish off Gamer Guy. Peely is almost dead here, but Flyfire does not end up finding the pick in time. Gonna give the checkpoint cap to Purdue Sigma, giving them an further spawn.
See, with this map, I think this first like 50 meters is easy, but the rest is it is a struggle to get around this corner here.
Yeah, you're right. This is kind of tough because you've got a really oppressive high ground from the top side. Duel does get picked off early, and Slyfire is going to waste no time in trying to push in on that. Green Juice gets caught in a rough position and gets dived by both the enemy DPS. Able to find that pick, and Fog dies to Slyfire as well. Chicken Man pops Junkrat Tire and finds 3, possibly making this fight something that can be turned around. All of Sigma's quite low though, but because of how much damage and kills that Junkrat Tire got, it forces Oklahoma back anyway.
We do see a hazard come out. Well, I just don't think it's going to be enough to stop this Sigma.
The hazard all come through, able to find 3 different people, but find kills on none of them. Nano comes through onto Peely just to increase that damage. Gamer Guy finds a pick on the Chicken Man. That window gets popped. Flyfire dropping low from Peely, but doesn't end up dying, and Peely dies instead from due to that Bat window. Green Juice is able to finish off Gamer Guy. Just supports
Green Juice
now
gets
on
the
Sigma.
sleep.
May end up getting Green Juice out alive. I spoke too soon. Well, attempts to drop bomb, but unfortunately does not hit it and dies in the process.
We do see Sovereign Sky trying to go into Purdue's backline.
You see Sigma all get popped, finding Slyfire, and able to finish off Waluigi and Meme God in the process. No supports on the side of Oklahoma. Slyfire dropped quite low.
Chicken Man getting the pick on Sovereign Sky.
Slyfire is able to get out, but the rest of his team dies. Purdue, I think, might be able to get the checkpoint advantage here, but Slyfire might step in just beforehand to make sure that they don't.
We do see Ghoul switch onto Sojourn.
You see
I do like this
Tire
pick.
gets popped. Is able to find Ghoul. Anti comes through onto Slyfire, and because of the rock too, that is able to finish off Slyfire. We see Junkrat Tire come through, is able to find Meme God. Chicken Man finishes Waluigi. But dropped quite low with a crazy rock from downtown from Peely. Hits Sovereign Sky midair and is able to save Chicken Man's life.
Slyfire pops Hazard ult. Does drop quite low, but gets saved by the Immortality Field. Fortunately, it's still dropping quite low. Sovereign Sky and Slyfire are able to find picks. Blade comes through, finishes off Wog, and finishes off Peely. That's just the Ana.
Green Juice sounds like getting picked off.
We might have a chance to touch this before the spawn flips. Yeah, they don't seem to be particularly interested in it. We're just gonna set up a safer hold from the high ground. Sovereign Sky does get trapped. Flyfire attempts to come in to save them, but isn't able to get in there in time. Weeing Ult gets popped onto Ghoul, is able to stun both Meme God and Slyfire, stunning Meme God out of their ult, and making sure that Waluigi's Bap window doesn't get any value. Nano comes through onto Peely. I don't think Green Juice realized that the fight was over, but great fight win all the same for Purdue Sigma. Ghoul finds a pick on the Gamer Guy early. Sovereign Sky attempts to push into the backline, but gets stunned and finished off by Peely. Flyfire simultaneously they'll find the pick on to Ghoul. Peely attempts to hit another Skyrock.
We do see Sapphire trying to back off here, but
Peely's able to find a pick on the Meme God. Sojourn Ult gets popped as well as Hazard Ult. Hazard Ult doesn't seem to catch anybody. Actually, sorry,
actually
I lied.
got two.
Okay, alright. Flyfire does drop quite low, but Peely's able to, and that's going to allow Peely to get out.
Some might say Peely was able to peel out of there.
Some might, but they would be considered dad jokers. So we won't do that. Ghoul might be caught in a tough position here, but does have Slide to get out. Bob gets popped as well as Baptiste ult. Unfortunately, both the Bob and the Baptiste ult are only able to see that one lane, and so Purdue Sigma just kind of has to drop back behind this corner, and they're completely safe from both. Junkrat Tire does come through and is able to see Waluigi, and Chicken Man's able to get a second pick on a Meme God. Ghoul and Flog finishing off the remainder of the team.
Chicken Man's had their supports in like lock and key, and I don't know, he's been very great at just getting their supports low enough to allow like Ghoul to get picks on them.
Yeah, a lot of
There's
really good
definitely some
coordination
really good
between their
DPS
back
coordination.
lines.
We do see a swap to Winston.
Ghoul slides in, and Weeing Ult gets popped. I think the Weeing Ult was supposed to go onto Ghoul there, but unfortunately got put onto Chicken Man instead by accident. So it's gonna lose Ghoul's life in the process and make the Weeing Ult not get any value. Nano does come through onto Peely, who immediately pops Gravitic Flux, is only able to find Sovereign Sky and not able to finish off the pick, but does allow for some room. Peely does find Meme God with the Nano. Ghoul and Genji locked in a 1v1. Sovereign Sky is able to get out. Gamer Guy finds the pick on a Ghoul. Green Juice is caught in a rough spot, but the Oklahoma is uninterested because they were able to pop Blade and get the rest of the team instead to help with the coordinated dive. Flyfire attempts to finish off Green Juice. A little bit apprehensive because they're in overtime here, so if Flyfire drops because he overextends, that's a big deal. But with the help of Sovereign Sky, they're able to finish off Green Juice. Force out Stagger.
Ghoul trying to protect Green Juice there, but is just unable to.
Forward spawn checkpoint does get reached by Oklahoma. That window comes through from the back line. Junkrat Tire comes through. Is able to find a pick on the Gamer Guy, but Bob immediately gets popped back on a Chicken Man. Ghoul dies to the Moira ult. Flyfire jumps up onto Green Juice, but immediately gets slept as he pops his ult. A lot of ults got used there by Oklahoma.
Purdue is close to a Wu Yang ult, but hopefully... Yeah, we do see Peely switch to Ryan, and Ghoul switching to Reaper.
Attempting to hold on to this point. The Ryan does come through, is able to find a pin onto Slyfire, dropping him quite low. Ryan's a great pick to be able to hold here on this last fight, because everybody forced into close corners, and that gets all the picks that they need, with Sovereign Sky and Gamer Guy being the only remaining ones to hold on to this point. Gamer Guy falls, and it is just Sovereign Sky holding Purdue back from winning the first round of the playoffs. Purdue Sigma finds the last pick, and your winners in the first round of playoffs in the third of 3 of 4 matches for the first round is Purdue Sigma.
That's great. I'm excited to see how they progress in this.
Yeah, it was a great series from both teams. Ended 3-1 Purdue Sigma to Oklahoma Red. Great plays from both teams. There was a lot of really impressive plays from several players. The ones that I can think of off the top of my head is Ghoul, Chicken Man, Flyfire, Healy. We saw a lot of fantastic plays from all the players, so good job, everybody.
Again, it just came like down to Purdue Sigma's team coordination is a wild thing to watch, because they are like really coordinated.
Yeah, they were doing a fantastic job coordinating a lot of those pokes, and combined with when Ghoul swapped to some of those dive characters, they did a great job. But hopefully we will get to see them again next week and see them continue further into the tournament. But we do know guaranteed now that they have won this first round. They're at least guaranteed a chance to compete for the third place losers bracket if they end up losing the next round, but they could continue to go farther and farther into those second and first place. So we're rooting for them. Good luck, you guys. Have a good week, everybody.
Have a good week, everybody.